because you would find that there are questions from this area, which is code of ethics, even in initiation, in planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, closing. So all of these process groups would certainly have at least one or two questions coming from this area, which means that be prepared to see at least 7 to 10 questions from code of ethics in your PMP exam. And sometimes these questions can be really tricky, and you have to be very careful and understand clearly that what does the PMBOK code of uh, or PMI's code of ethics says. So let's look at code of ethics. So there are four key areas that PMI focuses on, which would be responsibility, respect, honesty, and fairness. Now, first of them is responsibility. So when you talk about responsibility, you are talking in terms of things like making decisions and taking actions that are in the best interest of society, public safety, and the environment. So what we are trying to say is that you as a project manager should not accept any assignment, or you should refrain from accepting assignments that are not in the um, safety of the public, or they are not in the they are going to harm the environment or society in some or the other way. So if there are any projects like that, then being a good and responsible project manager, you should not accept those kind of assignments. Then second is that we accept those assignments that are consistent with our background, experience, skills, and qualification. What we are saying is that if my background is from networking, and I have been given a project of application development or software development or construction for that instance, I should actually tell upfront to my seniors or to my selection committee or to whosoever the stakeholder or the sponsor is that, see, I am not technically sound, or I'm not subject matter expert of this type of project, and I do not have any experience. So probably you should search for other option, and if you insist, then probably I'll take it up. So our response should be that if we see that we have been given an assignment or been asked to take a project which doesn't match our background, our education, our skills, our qualification, then in that case we should tell the stakeholders, or tell the responsible person upfront that we are not equipped with the right knowledge, right skills to deliver this project. So if you have a better option, probably you take them up. Then the third, we inform ourselves and uphold the policies, rules, regulations, laws that govern our work, profession, and volunteer activities. So we make sure that we are aware of any policies and procedures or rules and regulations or any law that we need to follow, and we follow them religiously. Along with that, if we see something unethical or illegal happening, then we need to report that to the right authority or the right people who are responsible for taking action against those kind of things. Now, in that context, PMI even goes to the extent where they say that if one of your friends who is a project manager and he has told you that he reported wrong work experience in the PMP's application, then you have full authority, and it should be your moral duty, it should be your job to inform PMI that one of your friends has presented them with the incorrect or inappropriate information. So even that should be reported to PMI by you if you yourself are following the code of ethics. If you don't do so, then you are also culprit in that case. So I know that when you will see questions, probably you might think that in the real world or in the actual project delivery, these things, or these things would not happen, or you would not support these kind of things. But as per the COE, as per the code of ethics, you have to work in this direction and ensure that you are following the code of ethics. Then number 5, we bring violations of this code to the attention of appropriate body or resolution, and we only file ethics complaints when they are substantiated by facts. So again, I was telling you just now the examples. The same applies here as well, that if anyone is found in breach of this code of ethics given by PMI, then again it's our duty to inform the appropriate body, which is PMI, that so and so person did not follow the code of ethics. Now, in one of my batches, one student, he asked me that this can be even used in a negative way, as in, if I have grudges with one of my colleagues who's a project manager, or if I don't want him to do well in his career, then probably I'll just go ahead and report, or I'll give a false report to PMI that he was in breach of the COE. But again, PMI would not believe on your words just like that. Even if you are doing a truthful reporting or false reporting, you have to submit the substantial proof, substantial facts that can prove that whatever you are saying is true and the other person is in violation of COE. So it would generally not that easy to get someone um, um, deregistered from PMP, or get someone rid of his PMP credentials because of COE, until unless you do not have some proof against that person. Let's move on to the next one, that is respect. So after responsibility, the next area that we are looking at is respect. So respect is our duty to show a high regard for ourselves, others, and the resource entrusted to us. So we should um, respect our colleagues, our resources, and even ourselves, so that we are not treating someone badly, or we are not considering someone as a junior person and he cannot do anything. So we should not do that. We should give respect, equal respect to everyone. We inform ourselves about norms and customs of others and avoid engaging in behaviors they might consider disrespectful. Now, many a times when you're working on projects that are spread across the different geographical areas, and you have team members coming from different parts of the world, then each of them would have their own customs, their own beliefs, their own values, and as far as we are concerned, we need to show respect to everyone's culture, and we should not be disrespectful to particular culture. A very simple example in this case can be that, let's say you have been invited, or you go to one of the um, you're doing a construction project in an overseas country, and you have been invited by the government or by the someone in that country, and they call you over dinner. Now, is it good for you to join that dinner, or is it bad? Now, because it is customary in that country to invite the guests on dinner, you should go to that dinner, but you would not be accepting any kind of bribe during that dinner. So this is how you respect the other's culture. Or maybe you are doing some activities, some fun activities on Friday in your project team, and some of the team members, they say that no, we will not be participating because doing something like this is against our culture, is against our religion. Then once again, you should respect that, and you should not force them to participate in such kind of activities. So this is like understanding and respecting the others' cultures and religion and norms. Number three, we listen to others' point of view and we try our best to understand them. We approach directly those person with whom we have conflict. Now again, this is like if you are having a conflict with me, then I would rather like you to come directly and talk to me about that conflict rather than gossiping around about that conflict with 10 other team members and spreading rumors or doing something like that. So even as a project manager, instead of going to the resources functional manager directly, it is always suggested or it is always said that you first directly try to sort out the conflict with the resource, and then if you are not able to, or for some reason you're not able to get the thing sorted out, then you should go to his functional manager. Of course, we have to conduct ourselves in a professional manner. We negotiate in good faith and do not exercise the power of our expertise or position to influence decision. So we would always ensure that the negotiation with whomsoever we are doing happens in a good faith, and we do not use our power or position to influence the decision of other parties. So maybe at times when you are doing procurement or you are involved with procurement because you are the project manager, you might be having one or two vendors as your friends, and you might influence the procurement guys to make a decision in favor of those vendors, although you are not taking any bribe or you're not doing you're not going to get any benefit out of it, but still you would not influence or you would not pursue the procurement people to award the contract to your vendor friend. Now once again, it might be very much possible that you are uh, taking an interview of a team member and he happens to be your relative. Now, in that case, what you should do, you should not stop taking the interview, but you should inform probably your senior management or the HR that this guy is my relative and I might be biased when I am taking his interview. So it would be best that I should not take this interview if you say so. But if the senior management or if the HR people have got good faith in you, they can also allow you to take the interview. In that case, you have to ensure that your decision is not influenced because of the relationship with that person. Next, fairness. So we demonstrate transparency in decision making and constantly re-examine our impartiality. We provide equal access to information to those authorized and equal opportunities to qualified candidates. We do not discriminate against other based on gender, race, age, religion, disability, nationality, or sexual orientation. Such questions can come very well. I am giving you examples based on my experience with the questions only. Most of these scenarios I have seen somewhere or else in the questions itself. You have been asked to take up a project in a country where it's the regulation or it's the law that women or the female workers would get half the wages as male workers. Should you take up that project? You should not take up that project. You should upfrontly deny it because of the sexual discrimination or gender discrimination or however you want to describe it, but because there isn't an equality, so in that case it would be best to not to take up this project. Then after that, fairness is continued. Conflict of interest. We proactively fully disclose any real or potential conflict of interest to the appropriate stakeholders, like I was just discussing. So this is again related to that itself, that if you feel that there would be any conflict of interest, you should upfront tell it to the respective stakeholder so that they are aware about it. When we realize that we have a real or potential conflict of interest, we refrain from engaging in decision-making process or otherwise attempting to influence the outcomes unless or until we have made full disclosure to the affected stakeholders. So Abdur, once again, this can be the answer to your question, that you can still make the decision if you have informed and if you have disclosed everything to all the affected stakeholders and if they are comfortable with that. We do not hire or fire, reward or punish, or award or deny contract based on personal considerations, including but not limited to favoritism, nepotism, or bribe. All right. Moving on to the last section of Code of Ethics, that is honesty. So we earnestly seek to understand the truth. We are truthful in our communication and conduct and provide in timely manner. So I was just smiling while reading this line because that's one of the most common breach of code of conduct, code of ethics that you would find in real life, that many project managers, they do false reporting, or they don't do a truthful reporting. So that should not be the case. Be it communications, be it reporting, you should be honest and truthful in all or any of that. We make commitments and promises in good faith. So we'll not make a commitment or will not make a promise that we know for sure will not be able to fulfill. So probably telling your team members that I'll take you all to Hawaii if you finish this project 1 week before, and when you cannot do that, you know that for sure. So you should not put or you should not promise such things to them which you'll not be able to fulfill later on. We do not engage on or condone behavior that is designed to, that is designated to deceive others. So it's like we should not be two-faced people who are something in front of someone and something else in front of others. So you should not have that kind of personality or dual personality which will deceive others, or which will uh, let others think something else about you which you are not. We do not engage in dishonest behavior with the intention of personal gain or at the expense of other. So again, this relates to bribery or something like that, that we should not be engaged in any sort of bribery or any sort of gift acceptance if it is not relevant or disclosed to the stakeholders.